Chapter 8, The Incident at the Same Time.
How good you're all here now,
said the leader of the Shiro organization.
So Itachi, you say you've got the stone as planned?
Itachi nodded and said,
Yes, he's right here.
Itachi rummaged through his pockets. Hayden giggled.
Don't you know, that fool sure got away with it.
For once in his life, Itachi was surprised.
Wenny. Yeah, okay, I realize that now,
said Itachi, snarling.
That annoying thunder elemental was mine. I can't believe you brought us here for this,
said Hayden, annoyed. The leader chuckled.
You will have plenty of time to fight. I'm breaking you all up into groups of 2.
The group looked excited.
Kizum, you go with Itachi. Hiden with Kakazu and Riku go with Dosu.
Raikou raised an eyebrow.
The message guy.
That's right.
Everyone heard in their heads.
Why don't you just say it with your voice?
Asked Kizum.
Fine,
says Dosu.
I know he doesn't fight much, but he's just as strong as any of us here,
said the leader.
Now go. We need as many of those stones as we can get. Bring them back immediately if you get one.
Right.
Right,
said everyone in unison as all 7 seeped into the ground.
Whoa, Genma, look. A book on the stones, and there's even a map someone left in here,
said Mjerky excitedly. Genma rushed over and looked in it.
No way,
he said, laughing.
Check this out some more. I got one more page to read in that puppet book,
he said as he sat back down. His eyes skimmed through and his eyes widened. He slowly closed the book and laid it down.
What is it?
asked Mjerky.
Nothing you'll ever have to worry about,
he said, disappointed. Mjerky was confused.
Well, are we going after those stones?
Genma nodded.
Yeah, but let's rest first and maybe get some food. I'm starving.
Yay,
replied Mjerky. They walked down to the first floor and checked the books out. Continuing on, they walked out the door through the city. It was now nighttime and the city lights shone miraculously.
This town is awesome,
said Mjerky. Genma chuckled.
Yeah, but where are the restaurants at?
They kept walking and noticed a building with a large crab on top. Genma ran at it with full speed in excitement.
Whoa, seafood. I haven't had that in years.
Mjerky caught up and they both stand in front of the building. Genma stared, almost drooling. Mjerky looked at him unfamiliarly.
Genma, it's food, and it's always gonna be there. Get used to it. Really.
Genma coughed and fixed himself.
Right.
They both walked in.
What can I get you?
Asked Lane in a chef suit.
Again?
Asked Genma, amused.
Hello, sir. What can I get you?
He asked again. Genma gave a big sigh.
Right. Well, I'll have your biggest meal.
Same here,
added Mjerky. Lane bowed and ran into the kitchen. While they were looking for their seats, they saw Karo and Jack sitting in a dark corner. They walked over and sat with them.
Why are you guys in the shady corner?
Asked Mjerky.
We don't want to attract too much attention,
said Jack.
And Lan?
Replied Genma.
Or he always acts like he doesn't know anyone, so we don't give away his identity,
said Jack. Mjerky gave a quick laugh. Genma and Karo smiled.
Hey waiter, hurry up with our food,
shouted Mjerky.
Mjerky, it's food, and it's always gonna get here no sooner or later no matter how much you yell. Get used to it. Really,
said Genma. Mjerky lowered his head, giving a sad look. Jack chuckled. Out popped Lane with the tray of food.
Here you are, sirs,
he said as he laid the trays on the table.
Oh, and if you run out on the check again, I'll hunt you down and tie you to the floor of a stable.
Genma held his tray out.
Then I guess I should give this back.
Lane gave Genma a fierce glare.
I'm kidding,
said Genma amusingly as he pulled the plate back.
Our shop is in the back for road supplies if you need it.
Lane said nicely. Jack nodded and Lane walked off.
You guys ran off on his check before.
Asked Jack. Jerky nodded proudly.
So have I. He's just so easy.
He added, giving a quick laugh. They picked up their silverware and began to eat. Somewhere else on an endless road was Raikou and Dosu.
So, you're awfully quiet,
said Raikou. Dosu looked over and gave a deep breathe. He turned his head back in the direction of the road.
I'm only with you for these stones, so get used to it. But I would like to know what you can do,
says Dosu. Raikou gave an excited smile and flipped up into the air. He landed and smashed his blades against the ground, causing a gigantic trail of energy flowing beyond. Dosu laughed. He walked up and held his hands out. Multiple holes broke out along with the large one in the palms. He sucked the energy away using this and took it into his body. Lines on his neck and hands were now shining white.
I'll use this for our next fight,
he said as his hands clicked back into shape.
little body. Is this guy human?
Raikou thought to himself. They both walked on.
Hey, Kizam, is this Jean Magail tooth?
Asked Itachi.
Hey, not really. It's those elementals we should worry about.
Kisame replied.
Although we've been holding back our full potential, there's no way we'd live if we came across them.
Not with Justus to Anive?
Added Itachi. They were on top of a bottomless canyon, jumping across large rock columns. In the forest was Hayden and Kakusia.
Ah, look, a temple,
said Hayden as they walked up and stopped. Seconds later a group of thieves rushed by dressed in black and gold.
Who the hell were they?
Asked Hayden.
I don't know, but I'm sure they're here for the stone,
said Kakusia. They ran up the temple stairs after the thieves. As they caught up in the midst of a chamber, Hayden held his side out.
Stop! Who are you guys?
The man stopped and looked back.
We're ordered by Shu to pick up a special item, so screw off. It's ours.
Hayden walked up smiling.
Oh no, I believe it's ours.
The men frowned and pulled out katanas. The leader signaled half of the group to move on. Kakusia jumped over the crowd and chased after the other.
I hope you guys are good,
said Hayden, turning black and white. He walked in and they all rushed at him. There were 5. They all surrounded him and jumped in. Stab after stab they struck down Hayden. Bleeding badly, Hayden dropped to the floor with a shocked look on his face.
We must have been too fast for him. No one can survive that.
Hayden's face gave a smile and he opened his eyes. Before anyone knew he lived, the large scythe flung up and drove into the chest of one of the men. The man dropped to the ground dead. They looked down and saw nothing. The scythe had even disappeared. From behind, Hayden gave 2 slashes, sending another 2 to the ground. The leader gave a growl and jumped up. He threw an explosive and it blew up on Hayden. The leader was now gone and left the lone soldier to take on Hayden. Hayden walked on undamaged past the shaking soldier.
You're a coward. I suggest you leave Shu's army. If I see you again, you're as good as dead.
The man's eyes grew with tears and walked off. As Hayden walked ahead, a katana pierced through his stomach.
Shu would have killed me either way,
said the man. Hayden smiled.
I know.
As he flung around, striking the man across his body. Hayden pulled the sword out and the man dropped down. Hayden chuckled.
There's my fun for the day.
Hayden looked left and saw Kakusia with the stone and the thief leader in hand. He dropped the man down to the ground and walked over.
You screw around too much. I saw half that battle,
he said, annoyed.
Just having some fun. Jeez.
Well, whatever. We got the stone.
Hayden nodded. The 4 were done eating and they were now in the shop packing up food.
Get all you need. Lan is letting us get this for free,
said Jack. After minutes, each of the four regrouped and had a bag full of food and water bottles.
So are we ready?
Asked Lane, whom just walked up.
Yeah,
said Caro. As they exited, Genma brought out the map.
Look, it's a map of the country. And the locations of the stones,
he said. He picked a pen up and crossed off 4 locations.
These are the stones he's already gotten. I don't know how many more he's taken since then.
I do,
said a distant voice. They looked back and up towards the building. Atop the restaurant sat the leader of the Shiro organization.
Of the 6 temples left, I have one of the stones as of 5 minutes ago, and I have men going to get 2 more. Most likely, Shu's men have already gotten one by now, but I know for a fact that he has men to get them all.
And why do you want them?
Asked Caro. The leader laughed.
Well, I just don't want Shu getting a hold of them first off. Anyway, I'd suggest heading for that temple first. It'll be the only one you can reach before Shu.
He pointed at the point.
Fine,
said Genma.
But I'm not thanking you yet.
The leader smiled and sunk into the shadows.
Let's go,
said Jack. Dosu and Raikou stepped up to a black-colored temple. Soldiers ran out wounded and some even missing limbs. They were all screaming as skeletons and reapers chased them down. Raikou raised an eyebrow.
Friends of Kaidan, maybe!
Dosu gave a chuckle. They both jumped in to fight. Itachi and Kisum came to a stop and looked up.
Hôtel Harvey suppose to get up there?
Asked Itachi. A blue temple floated above, high in midair above the mountain tops, hidden in clouds.
Why do you think they chose me to come here? I'm the previous guardian,
said Kisum. He held his hand out and the clouds surrounding the temple came together in a form of a shining white bridge. Itachi stared at Kisum.
Usually only a water elemental can do that,
he said. Kisum growled.
I'm close enough. I've dedicated my life to water and can do almost as much as any elemental. Now let's get going,
replied Kisum. They walked up the bridge and entered the temple. The soldiers and undead lay dead on the ground.
Why didn't you fight?
Said Raikou.
I'm saving it for Hidden's brother,
replied Dosu excitedly.
The guardian of the temple!
Yeah.
They both walked in. Itachi and Kisum entered a large blue room. From the ceiling fell a large blue creature.
I'm guessing that that's the new guardian?
Asked Itachi.
Yeah, but it's dead,
says Kisum as he looked up. Above on the ceiling was Shu standing upside down staring down on them.
Damn, he's got it already,
said Kisum. Itachi looked up.
Yeah, maybe we should just go?
Kisum nodded. They ran back at full speed towards the door, and Shu dropped down to chase them. Itachi looked back.
Vegged?
They both stopped as Itachi bounced back and elbowed Shu in the face, then gave 3 or 4 slashes, knocking him back. Shu faded away.
Him and that monster are illusions,
said Itachi.
Oh really?
They both ran back to the room. Kisum slashed the beast and it faded away.
Ugh, this guardian must know our situation. But I don't understand where he or the stone could be,
said Kisum. Itachi giggled.
Over Teresa, always, are you blind?
What? Well, apparently your special eyes can see through illusions. So then why do you run away from the others?
He just wanted to know if this guy was strong enough to move them fully. And he is, so expect a few tricks.
They walked up to the wall and walked through it into a hallway behind it. It was a long winding pathway in which its ending was unseen. They walked slowly ahead. Nothing happened for about 40 seconds. but when the time came, one arrow shot out from the walls.
Don't worry, it was fake.
Said Itachi.
Jump.
They both jumped up forward, dodging a trapdoor. They walked on and on through the trapped hallway and finally entered a room. Kisum pulled out 2 arrows from him and 5 spikes.
These illusions felt a bit real to me,
he said, looking at the untouched Itachi. Itachi looked over at the other side of the room and saw a man with a mask on. The mask had 2 eye holes and a large spiral running through it. His black suit was pretty much an old-fashioned ninja suit with a black sash.
Toby?
Asked Itachi.
I thought you were dead.